Hello, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you my Reshade setup, as well as the enhancements and ship of Harkinian that I use for Ocarina of Time. So here I'm going to show you that I've fixed the text being too blurred. We still need Bloom. I want Bloom. But you can see here the text is actually readable. So now we'll press F1 and then reset. You may have noticed that in my episode 1 video that the text was completely unreadable. We're going to hop into my test file. Now, I've changed the settings a little bit in Reshade. I'm using updated versions of Marty McFly. I paid for the $5 Patreon, no longer using the free versions. So here's all the paid stuff. You can get the free stuff online and essentially set it up the same way that I have it set up here, I suppose. I don't have my old Reshade file to send anyone who might like that, but we'll turn off performance mode. These are the adjustments. In Blooming HDR, the only thing I've really done is changed the bright color extraction, raised it so that it no longer extracts from the text, since the text is so bright. Link himself is really bright. He affects bloom, he affects ray tracing, he affects everything. There's no way to stop that. Link is just one of the brightest objects in the game. And I will say, when we move down here, we're on Launchpad. Launchpad, I've changed all of the textures and the sample radiuses so that it actually captures the shield's depth. Specifically, the shield. So you can see there's lighting effects on the shield here. I'm going to go into settings. You'll see there's banding on Link's feet right now. I'm going to go to enhancements, graphics, mods, alternate assets off, and then back on. For some reason, the game has an issue with Chips of Harkinian has some kind of issue with texture enhancements right now where sometimes they cause banding. Not sure what causes that. And it can happen on loading up a new area even. I could change the MSAA, it might affect something, but it also affects your depth map and affects the color. So not really worth messing with. There is jitter fix, except to 30 FPS, see if it does anything. I had it turned off. I have a lot of stuff turned on and off, it's weird. Okay, graphics, boom. Jitter fix, 30 FPS. I'm running at 30 FPS because with the Reshade setup, nothing here works, right? I have linear texture filtering. I did have 3-point. Don't think it matters. With everything here, I could change it back to 3-point. We're going to go back to the Reshade. Looking at Launchpad. Launchpad is set up with smooth normals, texture normals. I don't have NOR turned on. I don't think there's a reason to turn this on based on the debug. I have it set to 3. Change the quality on this, but you'll lose depth. MXIO. I've got this set up for light shadowing, as you can see in the background. And here on Link's shoes even. Anti-aliasing, I'm not sure if this is really worth it. I have it set up though, just in case. For far away objects, doesn't really work in Link's hut. Here's the HDR off on. It gives it a little bit warmer tones. Turning it off might actually be helpful for ray tracing. For all I know, you could move the ray tracing below it. It actually changes how it works. See this, the ray tracing is affected by bloom, ray tracing not affected by bloom, your choice. And then chromaticity changes just the feeling of the game, the color. Pretty much all it does. It's basically default. I've moved the red over to the, I moved it left a little bit. I think it was too red. That's it. Everything is basically default besides the SMAA, which I modified, and the ray tracing, which is extremely modified. You see there's very little ray tracing happening right now. I have the diffusion set to medium for quality assurance. Then the blending is where most of the stuff is happening. Fade out, you could actually lower more. The game doesn't have a huge range. I think 200 is probably fine. I have it 316 just in case. For like Hyrule field and whatnot. But yeah, I'll grab my settings. I'll just Reshade preset. and you'll throw it in a Google Doc file, or not Google Doc file, a Google Drive file. I won't be sending my shaders because you pay for these, right? It's not a big deal. You can get them on the Discord, but you gotta subscribe to the Marty McFly Patreon, and I don't really want to be that guy. I don't want to get banned because I actually like it. Ew. Let's walk around. Let's see what all we have. Oh yeah, we can go into enhancements. Check that out. I've just done enhanced. The only thing I've really changed is enemy health bars and targetable hookshot reticle. Besides that, I don't think there's much else. Besides the graphics, I've disabled vanishing paths. I had it turned on in a previous video, but I've noticed through testing that it doesn't look that good. We'll turn this off, and now the game will look normal. I'm not sure if the FPS drops below 30 at any point. If it does, it's probably 20-ish FPS. But yeah, this game never ran at true 60 FPS. It's like a 25, 30 FPS game. Not a big deal seeing it in that. It doesn't make it look any worse. Especially if it's smooth, right? But if there's random hiccups every now and then, that's where the big issues come in. And one thing you're going to notice, and you're not going to notice here, well, you'll notice this. The path disappearing, that's because of how paths render behind you and in front of you in the original Ocarina of Time. More noticeable here since my resolution is higher. Do not change your internal resolution, by the way. It does mess with the depth maps. You will see there's random dots every now and then. I'm still working on getting rid of those. I don't know if those have to do with the ray tracing or something else. And I can't, for some reason I can't move the window in this version of Reshade. Yes, I can. Okay. So I don't know if this is the texture pack or if it's Reshade causing that. Could be Reshade. Not really sure how to fix that just yet. We're working on that. And by we, I mean me. I'm working on it. You could increase the defuse. Doesn't really do anything though. Z thickness is very low already. Let's go back to performance mode. Here's the anti-aliasing I was talking about. It seems like it does nothing. Probably doesn't. Turn off MXAO. Do we still get these dots? I think we do, yeah. They're less noticeable without HDR. Perhaps HDR needs to be above. Yeah, I think that helps just a little bit. Okay. So using ray tracing with HDR, well not HDR, with bloom specifically causes some issues, it looks like. I mean, there's still some, you can still see some noise in the background. That's just an effect of the ray tracing. There's no way to get rid of that, from my knowledge. But yeah, this is just a work in progress. A work in progress. We're working on it right now. We're progressing. Here's a cool room to look at. You can see everything's really shiny. And we can turn off the effect. Everything is less shiny. Just a texture. And here, the texture is nicer. And then you can see that Navi actually causes some lighting effects we were talking about before on the shield. On the pots, she applies light. Very a minimal amount, but she applies it. Looks nice. One of the best things to look at is actually the floor in here, where you see a real difference. So if you take a look at the floor, right, you turn it off. There's actually no depth on the floor. You can see, obviously, this is just a texture. And then boom, immediately the floor now has depth. These are tiles. They're not just a texture. So cool. That's pretty much it. We can go look at Hyrule Castle, I suppose. Like the town. Haven't really looked at that. Don't know what that looks like. There's like an error right here, I guess. A weird piece of light. But, you know, the market doesn't really look that great. Let me turn on VSync. I do have VSync off. I believe I need to turn that on. I'm gonna turn jitter fix off again. I don't know if it matters too much for me. Yeah, so you can see this lady's polygons. Because there's not really any light source on her nose. It's kind of gross looking, and that's what I meant. But we can use Navi to light her up. Yeah, you actually notice pictures look weird. Like skyboxes. If you look at Hyrule Castle, it's got like this weird thing around it. You see, that's in the normal game, but it's less noticeable in the normal game. More noticeable here. It's because of the bloom. So if you want to mess with the reshade and take off the bloom and mess with like the chromaticity, that'll probably make it look better. I guess last but not least, Temple of Time. So we'll go off when we go inside. Okay. Temple of Time. This just looks darker, more intense. What's our FPS looking like? It's 30. Okay. Off. On. More blue. For sure. I kind of like it. So ominous. And you can see the noise and it being applied to stuff behind me, like that rug. There is a clarity thing you can download. The launchpad, that launchpad, everything looks like that. I need launchpad for depth. But launchpad does affect this stuff down here. Honestly, MXIO could be turned off for better frame timing and FPS in general. Maybe even aliasing. I think aliasing is good for signs and stuff, though. Oh, here's that weird banding on Link's feet again. Either way. That's pretty much it. Don't think there's much else to show. Haven't really explored more of the game yet on either file. This is right after making that first video the next day. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully you like the way this looks. Like I said, might need someone work on it more. Better tweaks and stuff. Here's some items. Some hand polygons. Forward slashes. Menu. You see the menu actually has an issue right there. This face, I don't know what's up with that. It's because of stuff in the background. You see it's not entirely blocked in. It's actually a little bit transparent. We didn't look at sticks. We'll look at sticks as well. Here's stick. Here's ocarina. The stick is weird. Looks like getting some weird lighting on Link's face because of the stick, maybe? There's this, disable LOD. Yeah, that's what it was. Disable LOD. Okay, now we don't get faraway object. Models, we'll just have the normal models. Boom. That looks a lot better. Okay. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye for now.